Welcome to everyone in the audience. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lori Polly, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. We do appreciate the opportunity provided by Optimus to share with you a session on 20 ways Panatrack improves inventory and asset tracking. During the presentation today, we'll discuss how Panatrack provides keen visibility to inventory and asset tracking, leveraging barcode technology. So first, I'd like to share just a little information about who Panatrack is and why perhaps you might choose to work with the Panatracker and Optimus team. Panatrack, based near Heartland, Wisconsin, has been delivering solutions since 1996. We started as a consultancy focusing on inventory and asset tracking. In 2004, with the release of our flagship product, Panatracker GP, we addressed the needs to extend Dynamics GP in the areas of barcode tracking in the warehouse and anywhere inventory and assets travel. Most recently, in 2019, we released our Panatracker ST product. Leveraging barcode technology, the solution is designed to track units, which may be items, assets, or tools, and which may move outside of the walls of an organization. Panatrack continues to understand the necessity of delivering solutions based on our community needs. And the birth of Panatracker ST is one of these success stories. We continue to provide that listening ear based on our local support of product offerings over a global reach. Let's take a look now at the core processes supported through the tracking of the inventory tracking solution. From point of receipt of products from our vendors, Panatracker can produce barcode labeling for the remaining inventory processes or make use of the barcode which your manufacturer or vendor provides. At point of receipt, items are put away into corresponding bin locations within a site or a warehouse. Perhaps they even are moved to a quality area to be checked before moving into stock. If goods are received in a damaged condition, we want to be sure to be able to return these to vendor or adjust off inventory, accounting for them regardless of the form in which they were received. If your company has more than one site, then perhaps it's necessary to move or transfer items across multiple warehouse sites or from one bin to another. A definite value add for inventory control is the ability to take a physical inventory or cycle count by scanning, as opposed to the old method of printing out count sheets or tagging each of the items. If the user in the warehouse floor needs the ability to look up an item or check stock from a mobile device, then this is also readily at hand. If your company is a service-based organization, then perhaps your focus is on distributing items across projects or jobs. How many times have technicians been on site only to find that items they need for the job are still sitting in the warehouse? This might be due to lack of visibility. If items are received directly to the job or project, there is no visibility as to their physical location. And what about tracking truck stock? Are technicians replenishing truck stock on a regular basis? How are the replenishment requests sent to the warehouse? And what about taking stock of the company van? How often has a technician gone to get a part only to find that the truck stock is depleted? Inventory tracking can help with all of the above. Panatrack provides methodologies for creating the replacement requests, ensuring the technician knows where the inventory is, and also has the ability to track tools or assets to the job as well. Distributors will find that tracking inventory leveraging barcoding technology helps to assure that correct items are going out the door to customers. It will help to direct pickers to the correct locations for product in the warehouse and monitor obsolescence. Inventory sitting on the floor is money. The quicker and more accurately a distributor can turn inventory, the more profitable the business. If your company makes items as a manufacturer using any of the listed manufacturing options, PanaTracker GP can help with issuing of raw materials, either to staging or into the manufacturing process itself. Tracking WIP and also recording the receipt of finished goods into stock. Automated barcode printing further helps to optimize the manufacturing process as labels are produced and adhered as products are coming off the line. And finally, fixed assets. Many medical care facilities, nonprofit organizations, and also sports teams have found significant benefit by implementing PanaTracker GP for tracking of fixed assets. Asset tags are applied for quick identification of assets, and when an asset changes location or custodian, a simple scan can update GP with current information. If assets are barcoded with a barcode from the manufacturer, PanaTracker GP also has the ability to associate this barcode with your internal asset ID for quick and easy tracking. So let's take a minute to identify some of the challenges through which the use of barcoding can help an organization become productive and efficient. On a customer order, has the wrong product ever gone out the door? If capturing lot or serial information, have characters been transposed while writing them down or entering them into GP? And how about that material that arrives from the vendor? Has the receipt ever gone unrecorded until it's just too late? In the case of assets or tools, has a technician ever been unable to locate the tool needed to do the job, or went to a place to receive when in fact another person had the tool? And what about all of the time it takes just to manually write down information only to have to re-enter this into GP later? This certainly lends itself to redundant and unproductive processes. So efficiency can be tied back to a single source of truth. Through the use of PanaTracker GP solution and barcode technology, we leverage industry tried and tested methods and processes within a single database. This is important because if the same data is stored in multiple places, which source are we to believe? At best, we would have to synchronize the data sources, or we end up with disparate and unbalanced islands of data. Having a single source of data eliminates the need to check multiple places to get an answer. It eliminates the time-consuming step of synchronizing and reconciling data. PanaTracker GP, using the GP database as its host database, is an example of how this single source of truth can keep inventory and assets true and correct. Reason number 2, stock counting. Stock counts in hours, not days. Reduce paper, reduce time, reduce entry errors. I once had a user tell me that since their company went to barcoding for their stock counts using PanaTracker GP, that what used to take an entire weekend to do the physical inventory count now takes about 3 hours on a Friday afternoon. That's a pretty significant time savings. And talk about how it also increases employee morale. No more tags or worksheets to write on. No more having to translate someone else's writing. Simply scan, 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 and Quantity counts are immediately updated to the stock count entry window in GP, quickening the process. Reason number 3, automated label printing. Think about receiving product while barcode labels automatically print on a printer next to you. No keying in data on a workstation. This saves time as well as saving the cost of pre-printing labels for which product may not arrive. Barcodes can take many forms. There are a number of standard barcode types, including 1D, 2D, data matrix, UPC, GS1, and on and on and on. In essence, a barcode is a scannable font, which the barcode reader translates into a data field on the corresponding transaction. So, whether receiving, making inventory adjustments, transferring, order fulfillment, or manufacturing, label creation is simplified when using our automated printing solution for Dynamics GP. Reason number 4, industry standards. As mentioned before, there are a multitude of barcode standards. Some are specifically tied to the industry in which your company does business. Healthcare organizations, for example, may have heard of HIBIC standards, while retail organizations are more familiar with the UCC 128 standard. ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, provides a basis for these standards, as does ISO on an international level. The standards are there to help companies comply with governmental regulations and also provide a basis for common understanding of the data which is conveyed in the barcode. Barcodes, such as a data matrix type or 2D barcode, provide for the collection of multiple fields of data in a single scan. Companies who track items with an associated lot or serial number find these types of barcodes especially useful. Number 5, saving steps, errors, and shipping errors. Did you know that according to Six Sigma concerning data entry, approximately 1 in every 200 characters are a keying error? So if I'm sitting in front of my keyboard, my 201st keystroke is potentially a keying error. Through the use of barcodes, this number is about 1 in 2.5 million. As you can see, the chance for error is substantially reduced. Now think of that in terms of the inventory transactions your company records on a daily basis. How many times is that 201st character threshold reached? This could result in a miskeyed serial number, or even worse, a miskeyed item number on a shipment. Whereas when barcodes are used, the scan of the barcode records the item number or serial number. There is no manual intervention. This solves all kinds of data integrity issues when it comes to taking inventory, shipping product, or transferring inventory to a project or job. Reason number 6, transaction logging. Transaction logging or audit trailing allows us to identify where the inconsistencies in our inventories occur. Using the Panatracker GP dashboard, which records a logging entry for each transaction scan, we are able to review when the scan was made, who recorded the transaction, what data fields were recorded, and if GP delivered a data error message resulting from the scan. Transaction logging can be secured for viewing to a supervisory person or made available to all users through a simple web browser connection. This does not require a GP user to be logged in, nor does this consume a GP user license. Think of it. If there are material handlers in the warehouse or technicians in the field who move or consume inventory, then they are able to create, record transactions, and view without ever logging into GP. Number 7, serial tracking. The item tracking feature in Dynamics GP can be configured to enable serial tracking on items and assets, or lot tracking on groupings of products having commonalities. Serial tracking of an item provides for the assignment of a unique ID per unit item, while lot tracking assigns an ID across the quantity of the same item. Either way, when using a lot or serial number, the lot or serial can be incorporated into a single barcode, which may also contain the item number or other fields of data relating to the item. If using a 2D or QR type barcode, a single scan of the barcode can populate multiple fields of data on the GP transaction. For example, if my barcode contains item number and serial number, then with a single scan, these two fields of the data will be automatically filled in on the corresponding transaction and communicated directly to GP. Reason number 8, support for lot-directed order picking. Lot tracking in Dynamics GP provides for the use of 5 lot attribute fields. 2 of these fields may be configured as date fields such as expiration date or manufacturer date. The other 3 fields are attributes which gather data about the lot. The attribute better defines the properties of the lot. In the case of steel coils, it might be a heat code or some identifying property. In the case where expiration date is in use, PanaTracker GP supports lot-directed picking based on first expiration date, first out. This feature is beneficial to those who deal in perishable goods and materials, which can be found in a broad cross-section of food, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, consumable goods, and so on. In the case where a lot is chosen, which is expired or nearing the expiry threshold, a message such as shown here alerts the user that another lot should be chosen. Reason number 9, UPC scanning. Occasionally, the vendor or manufacturer provides the barcode on items. A UPC, which is a Universal Product Code, is an example of this. The UPC is a barcode symbology widely used. It consists of 12 numeric digits that are uniquely assigned to each trade item. PanaTracker GP uses its Associate Manufacturer Item feature to read the manufacturer's barcode and translate that item number into your internal GP item number on inventory transactions. No more guessing. Once defined, the manufacturer's barcode is scanned throughout the remainder of the inventory movement steps. There's no need to relabel the item with the internal GP item number unless desired to do so. This saves both time and money in label production. Reason number 10, UPC to unit of measure. UPC to unit of measure, sometimes also called SKU to unit of measure, identifies items by the unique unit of measure. PanaTracker GP provides for the reading of the manufacturer's SKU barcode. SKU refers to the stock keeping unit. A very common example of this can be seen on some of our favorite beverages. The bottle of Coke pictured has a different SKU than the case of Coke, which is still a different barcode representing the pallet of cases or case quantity. These UPCs can be set up on the item purchasing options of the item card, drilling back to the manufacturer's item number maintenance window in GP. In the case of the barcode reader, the scan of the UPC will result in entry of the correct item unit of measure combination on the GP transaction. Reason number 11, Real-time picking and validation. Now, here's a benefit for those distributors in our audience today. Those who struggle with missed shipments of product resulting in customer returns or loss of customer satisfaction. Assure your customers are receiving products as ordered. As part of the fulfillment process using barcode scanning, the item is scanned as part of the pick process to assure that the right product is picked off the shelf. As a second point of verification, a packing transaction is also available so that the items picked are confirmed against the shipment and packing detail can also be collected. As in the comment from one of our customers here, orders are turned around efficiently, and in this case, go out to the customer on the very same day orders are placed. Reason number 12, batch picking. Batch picking is a methodology which groups orders for picking in a logical flow throughout the warehouse. If multi-bin is enabled in Dynamics GP, directed picking will guide the picker up and down aisles so that multiple orders can be picked simultaneously, usually to a cart, or if larger items, then items may be moved from their bin location to a staging area. As I stand in front of a bin, I want to pull all items from the bin that are required for all of the sales orders that I'm picking at that time. This is so that I move along my path and I'm not revisiting a bin or crisscrossing the warehouse later. In this way, the picking process is streamlined and productivity is elevated. Reason 13, advanced bin management. Multi-bin management is a feature of Dynamics GP. When enabled, bins are able to be configured for site IDs in GP. This provides a more granular view of inventories and their locations within a site. Many users find that without the use of barcode scanning, the overhead to enter inventory transactions, including multi-bin, may be cumbersome in GP alone. By adding the scanning option on a mobile computer, these same transactions can be recorded in real time and require much less time and labor overhead. Default bins can be set for various transactions such as receiving or order fulfillment, and if a bin becomes low, then a restocking order can provide for its replenishment. A replenishment request can also be entered on the PanaTracker GP scanning device. It's as simple as scanning the item and barcode, the bin barcode, and hitting submit. Reason 14, directed transfer. For companies having multiple warehouses, centralized purchasing, or a hub and spoke warehouse relationship, we've developed our own directed transfer infrastructure. Picture the technician in the field needing to replenish truck stock. The replenishment request from the technician sent via the mobile devices creates a pick list for the warehouse to pick materials which will then be picked up later by the technician or delivered by a company truck. Another example of benefit of this infrastructure would be a satellite warehouse creating a replenishment order to the central warehouse. The replenishment shipment is picked and sent out by common carrier perhaps, which places the shipment in an in-transit mode. When the shipment arrives at the satellite warehouse, the material handler receives on the scanning device to complete the transfer process and record inventory as it being in-house now at the satellite location. A streamlined process to verify inventory movement every step of the way. Reason 15, setting user profiles. It has been our experience that not everyone in the warehouse always completes the same transactions for the same site. For this reason, the profile feature was developed to be able to define and distribute user privileges, default settings, and security permissions. This helps to secure the system so that only those authorized are able to collect certain transactions or for specific locations. This also sets default values for transactions so that when a new user is set up, the user may inherit the profile values. This speeds up setup significantly. Reason 16, flex fields. Although with GP there are certain fields which are required with each transaction, we wanted our solution to be malleable to the user environment. For that reason, we have included flex fields. These are user-definable fields at the transaction level, which enable the collection of data fields which are not normally included on a particular GP transaction. Data collected in these fields is stored in your SQL database, that single source of truth, and is available to be reported against. Flex fields can also act as triggers to launch stored procedures or provide lookup to supporting data tables. Reason 17, the generic transaction. Do you have the need to collect data for which there is no existing transaction in GP? Our generic transaction can provide a window to which flex fields can be added for the purpose of collecting data fields. Perhaps there is some maybe quality data you'd like to capture to update your LIMS system, or maybe you'd like to capture a simple clock in, clock out transaction. The generic transaction provides a tool which can be configured to collect the data as desired. This makes the solution adaptable, yet adhering to the brick and mortar structure provided for in Microsoft Dynamics GP. Reason 18, built on extensibility. PanaTracker GP is a tool which extends Dynamics GP for inventory and asset tracking, but there is more. Triggers are trigger the stored procedure. You have the ability to trigger a stored procedure to create automated emails, use a stored procedure to write data into external data source, or trigger a stored procedure to kick off external processes. Understanding that users may need to extend the reach of GP data, we have built these tools into the solution. Reason 19, associating fixed asset tags. And now a few for those whose interest is more so in tracking of fixed assets. If assets are already tagged and you'd like to utilize the existing asset barcode tag, here's a thought. Use that existing tag, even though the asset tag includes a number different than the asset ID in GP. With PanaTracker GP, this association is made possible. There's no need to retag assets. Simply scan the barcode tag and select the asset ID to make the association on the mobile device. This will update the GP asset card in real time. Queries may also be run by asset tag or ID. This can be done to easily locate an asset or its custodian. And finally, number 20, taking stock of assets. Now, when it comes time to take inventory of fixed assets, the mobile computing device can go beyond the physical walls to validate the presence of an asset to a location or a custodian. Update the asset record as taking inventory. Add a serial number. Move it to a new location. Update any of the user-definable fields. Your asset financial data is protected as the mobile device tracks the physicality and physical data of the asset, while the financial remains protected behind the walls of Dynamics GP. You might be thinking this all sounds great, some good reasons, but how long does it take to implement? Generally, the inventory tracking can be done in as little as 32 to 40 hours, assuming GP inventory is in place. Fixed asset, maybe between 12 and 20 hours. It's straightforward and simplistic, yet powerful on the return on investment. I've shared with you just a few of the reasons today how PanaTracker GP can help to provide tracking for your inventory and assets. There are certainly many more reasons. In summary, barcoding is a powerful tool for tracking of inventory and assets. It can be deployed in a multitude of environments surrounding your most cumbersome inventory and asset processes. PanaTracker GP, leveraging barcode technology, was designed to save time, validate data, and provide a simplistic user's interface for the warehouse worker, technician, stockroom clerk, or back office auditor to track items and assets. We do appreciate the opportunity to provide this information today and would invite you to reach out for further information or to see a product demonstration very soon. You can do this by contacting your Optimus representative, emailing us, calling us, or visiting our website. Please make sure to reference the Optimus training in your request. Thank you again for joining us today. Have a wonderful week ahead.